As I told you, we would have Joey Raisin here, and he is here, along with Wally Dunn from the Conneaut Port Authority. You're chairman, right?
Yes.
Joe?
Yeah.
Well, it's this Saturday. Hard to believe that we're at July 26th already.
I know.
I'm praying that we have good weather.
You and me both, along with the rest of the city, I believe.
I was telling Wally, they have changed it back and forth. One day, one guy says it's going to be 60% rain. Another one says it looks like we'll be okay until the evening hours. So maybe we'll be able to get this in.
I'm sticking with Channel 3's weather forecast. As much as I like listening to AJ.
Yeah, right.
But Channel 3 is showing a big sun, so.
Are they?
Yeah.
Good.
So hopefully.
Because we have an outing that day too, and I'm thinking, geez, rain would ruin the whole thing.
Last year was not a good year.
Oh, it was a disaster. We were down there, and you had just called it off.
Yeah. We were fortunate that Maurice was able to work out an arrangement where he didn't have to come down, and naturally we didn't have to pay him, and that worked out for us. But
he was the band that was canceled.
Maurice was going to be the headliner last year at Winslow.
Ben Winslow, who we are planning on talking to this morning. Maurice may call in and talk to us regarding this event. How many years have you been doing this, Joe?
I personally,
4 or 5?
About 5 now.
Yeah.
Originally, I believe it was Mr. Vibbard started out when it was a classic boat show.
Oh, Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe he was the
I remember him
that
down
kind
there.
of kicked that whole thing off. It's a classic boat show. They had a lot of classic old inboard motors.
Yeah, we did a remote down there for a while back.
And,
That's quite a while back.
It went pretty well, and the first couple of years when I got on the board, it seemed to be petering out with some of the older boaters down there. The old Chris Craft Club, they had a different venue up in the Chautauqua area,
right?
And that inhibited them from coming down. So we kind of needed a shift, and that's where we got involved with the cars,
right?
And try to make it just a fun day on the dock.
I remember talking to some of and they were beautiful boats.
They were.
I remember talking to some boaters back then, and they said, that trip across that lake, because some of them come from Toledo or the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
So it was kind of rough, and they kind of backed away from it.
Some of those folks were getting up in age.
They were older.
I remember helping them park their boats in Mr. Dombrowski's Morton's shop there. He let us use that, and it was hard for them to turn their necks and back their boats in there. So, but they were beautiful
that happened.
boats. Yeah. And, so
I remember a couple of them, which I was just like amazed. They were shining and stained beautifully, and it was just absolutely good. Wally, how long have you been with the Port Authority?
About a year.
About a year.
Yes.
So you're a
happy
newcomer. You're a newcomer.
I'm a newcomer.
So were you there last year when we had the Dock Fest?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
So you know how bad that ended.
We all got wet together.
Yes. I know Michelle and I went down, and I says it's rainy, but we got to support it, and we went down, and it was just when Joey or whoever called it off, and there were just about a handful of people still there. I go, man, this is terrible.
But the food and the beverages were still wonderful.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We go down there for lunch, and we have a great time.
Yeah.
The Conneaut Boat Club will be there doing Raymond McVoy's special burgers and sausage and peppers.
Yeah.
And Luke Gallagher is going to be cooking brats and hot dogs this year, and Luke is a world-renowned chef.
He is good.
He is. The other Mrs. Reynolds is down there. She's got her little stand down there right now.
Really?
Yeah, and she'll be down there as well. The Red Hat ladies are going to be there.
Yeah, I think they're making pies.
Yeah. And we started the event, or kind of morphed it into any of the local civic groups that want to come down there, when any of the churches want to. There's no fee to come down there, set up a booth. We don't make a fee for that. It's just kind of a fundraiser for everybody. If they want to enjoy the dock, enjoy the day, the cars come down there. Jimmy Jones's Car Club comes down there. They have a great turnout for that.
Yep.
The first band we have is this Night Wolf that actually last year we had a band cancel on us, and I was scrambling, and the person you turn to look for a band is who?
Tom Parks.
You know it. And Tommy helped us out quite a bit the last couple of years tracking down some bands.
Yeah.
And I tell you, he's been a real blessing as far as just so he's got way more insight on the bands than I do.
Always has. Yeah.
And he's helped set us up with some sound. The Raven company, I guess from here, he does some of the sound, and that's supposed to be really well. So this
He's
band,
been working with them for years.
yeah. And he doesn't charge a fee or anything. He does.
Just likes to do
he
it.
volunteers. He enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
And this Night Wolf band, I guess, plays 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s classic rock. And they're currently working on.
Are they based out of Conneaut?
I believe they're not out of Conneaut. Tom didn't tell me where they were from exactly. I'm not positive where they're from.
Okay, that's
But
hey,
they,
we're
they
getting a
played
call.
a couple locals.
We're getting a call,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah,
Maybe
sure.
this is Maurice
Hey, it could be.
or Parks.
Yeah.
Hi, you're on the air.
I wish it was Maurice.
Hey,
there.
Courtesy. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, Nightwolf, part of them are from Ashtabula, Madison, up in that area.
Okay.
Saybrook, I'm pretty sure.
Have you worked with them before, Tom?
Yes, I went, and a matter of fact, I went Saturday and heard them.
Okay.
They were playing up in Ashtabula. Tight band, real tight. I think
th-
everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised.
When do they start performing that day? 2 o'clock?
They'll play 2 to 5, right, Joe?
Yeah,
2 to 5.
Yeah, 2 to 5, and then
Equipment change from 5 to 6.
and Winslow will be on at 6 to 8.
What's the Celtic group?
Well,
I'll let Wally tell you about that.
it's called, actually in Gaelic it would be a session.
Oh,
And it's sort of an informal gathering of people who are interested in traditional Irish music or Celtic music. Can be
Okay.
Scottish, can be Irish, Welsh.
Okay.
And you'll find the group that comes down there this Saturday will be some fiddlers, some pipers, tin pipers, baron players, probably some for sure some violinists, and it's just a good group. And they'll call the tune, and so you'll have lots of jigs and reels, and hopefully some dancers. Let's see.
We're gonna have bangers and mash down there too.
it sounds like you're familiar with this type of music there, Wally.
I am a bit familiar with it. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened to my.
One of our local fellows, Kyle Smith, plays the fiddle,
Yeah.
and
Is he involved?
he's kind of the organizer of the local session group. And they'll play at the wineries down in
Really?
yeah, here in Ashtabula County, and go down to on a regular basis down to a place called down in Niles, Ohio, where there's a session every month on a Sunday night.
I've been announcing that wrong. I wasn't calling it that.
Well,
Session.
it's session. It's all right.
Gentlemen, I'll hang up instead of listening to you here.
Oh,
over
I'm
the
sorry,
phone.
Tom. I forgot you were there.
Yeah, Joe, Raven Sound, they're loading in at 10 a.m., so I'll be there at 10 a.m. for to get the sound straightened around.
All right, Tom.
Are you gonna have a
We'll
state?
be there at noon, and hopefully it's going to be a nice day, and keep on rocking, my friends.
Hey,
We'll talk
Tom, are
to
you
later.
having?
Bye-bye.
Is there going to be a stage there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Dave Levesque is.
Okay, David.
David's donating a stage again.
Thanks, Tommy.
And,
I'll bring my acoustic guitar pad if you want to do a set.
Okay. It used to be my guitar. I sold it to him.
we'll put you guys in at 5:45 for a 5-minute session. How's that?
That's all we can do. If that.
You can play with the session group.
Yeah.
too.
But you're right, right. You know, Kyle Smith is a very talented musician.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it's been for many, many years. So, I wanted to talk to Wally. Called this in the other day to explain to me the North Coast Paddle Battle. Wally, I'm gonna throw it back to you. You want to go over that again? What that really is?
Well, it has to start out with an understanding of what a stand-up paddleboard is.
Yes.
Yeah, they look like a surfboard, but they're a bit wider. They have a grippier surface on the top, and they're propelled by someone standing on the board with about 11-foot long paddle. And it's quite popular on the east and west coast. It's gaining popularity in the Great Lakes. There wasn't any kind of a competition here on the Great Lakes for the paddle battle, for the stand-up paddle boards, except informal kinds of things that you'd find in down in Prescott or down around Edgewater Park in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, you know, I've seen them out here on our harbor. I've seen them out here off the sandbar, and I thought, well, let's have a competition here locally for them. So we're calling it the North Coast Paddle Battle. We have some people coming up from North Carolina. We have some people coming up from Trumbull County. I understand there's a large group coming from Cuyahoga County. I have not yet seen those registrations, but today's supposed to be the day when those are supposed to be in. And there's some folks coming over from, let's see what I mentioned, Trumbull, Mahoney, and my family from California, who are going to borrow boards, and they'll be a part of it as well. So,
wow,
it's
sounds
just,
like you have a pretty good
we
turnout.
could have 6 or we could have 60. I'm not too sure exactly how many we
Right.
may have, but whatever we're going to have fun.
It's something different.
It is.
You know, we tried the wacky boat race
Yeah, the
for a
carpet,
while,
yeah.
and that was doing okay, but it kind of seemed to be tapering. The canoe races, we tried to get some interest from local clubs, and that's kind of fizzled a little bit. So Wally came up with this idea, and he's seen it elsewhere, and why not? We'll give
Sure.
it a shot. I'll tell you what's happening too down there. A lot is, you see a lot of kayaking going on, and that may evolve into this next year along with this paddleboard, some more kayaking
We're going to put some
things.
kayakers in the first
Yeah.
flight. We had a call, and they're interested in bringing some people down for that. So I'm going to put them into a category of their own, and they're going to run the course as
Really?
a group of kayakers, right?
Fantastic.
Those will start about 1:30.
The whole morning kicks off, actually, the day kicks off with a pancake breakfast.
Yeah.
And that will be at the Lake Erie Boat Club.
Yep, they've been doing that for several years.
We've gone there.
Wonderful job,
Yeah.
John Benson and his crew.
Yep.
The 5K windmill run ends right at that site as well.
Yes.
That's always a good thing.
That'll be at the registration for that begins at 6:45 at the Conneaut Arts Center, and I think they're taking off at 8. They moved it up earlier because of the heat,
Yeah,
so it's at 8 o'clock, and that's been 4 or 5 years. Your daughter and Sean put that together,
yep. And that's still going, and that's a good thing.
and I believe the proceeds help out the center and the County Human Resource
I
Center.
believe you're right.
Yeah.
Each year they change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The majority of that, I think you're right on that.
Excellent, excellent. Now, the Winslow, they will be closing out the evening from 5 to 8. I don't know what happened to my cheat sheet here, but
This one?
you didn't steal that from me, did you, Joe?
No.
I just had this thing. I've had it for a week. Winslow is 6 to 8. I'm sorry, I said 5. It's 6 to 8. And that band, believe it or not, we're very lucky to get them because they are playing big venues. They're playing New York City. They play all over the United States. They are really moving up the ladder.
Yeah, Maurice is one of those. I remember he was quite fun to watch in the Conneaut Spartans band when my daughter was in the
Really?
field team at the
You
time.
remember them?
Oh yeah, yeah. He was one of the big. What's the big round things at the
Bass
drum?
drum?
No,
Bassoon?
the wrapped around her neck and he went down and all this and that.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
just was so one of those energetic band guys.
Really?
Oh yeah, and fun to watch.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if he might have been a co-captain or one of those guys
I'll
at the
be
time,
darned.
but yeah, very entertaining, and he's always talked good about coming back to Conneaut.
Yeah.
We saw him play down at the Conneaut Community Center one evening down there. A really good turnout, and last year we were planning on him coming, but of course the weather knocked us down. So
He had not arrived yet, so
no, and it was just kind of a drizzly morning, and they weren't supposed to come in until like 6 last year, and he called about halfway through and came to an agreement that might not be the best day to come down.
I think it was around 3 when Michelle and I were down there driving through, and that's when
All the predictions were getting worse.
yeah, it wasn't looking
Yeah.
good on the radar. Well, that saved him a lot of travel time and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
and it just wasn't a good day.
Mhm.
That's the one bad part about having that on the dock like that is you're susceptible to whatever the weather's going to go. And
That's why they moved the 4th of July festival
Yeah.
from there.
I remember that years ago. And they had
Yeah,
a
when
big
we were
blowout
kids,
down
they
there. Yeah.
we would get blown away, and
Yeah,
tents were down and everything
Yeah.
else. It was a mess.
yeah.
But so I think this is going to be really good. While I got you here, Joe, a lot of improvements down at the port, and it looks beautiful down there. I go down every day and check it out just because I enjoy it, looking at the boats and the water and that
You
sort
and
of
me
stuff.
both.
It really is something down there. How are the boaters that are coming in using the launching site? Are you getting quite a few down there? It looks like you are.
It's beginning to take off, and it's been a slow start to summer down there.
Because of
especially
the
with
weather.
And now that the fishing is starting to come on again, it was kind of on and off, on and off. The walleye charter fellas are doing wonderful.
Are they?
Yeah, they're really doing well with the walleyes. The perch are starting to turn on now, so the weather's good. You'll see all them boats down at the public dock, and the perch pack, as we call it, is out there. It's really, the perch fishing is doing well. You know, we've made a constant effort for safety down there at the public dock. We've put new throw rings out there that haven't been replaced in years down there, and just a couple ladders. Several ladders. I was worried about somebody falling in, not being able to get out of there. So we threw a few more ladders in there, and we're doing the same thing around all of the areas. Just looking at it as a whole. The sandbar is evolving into quite an interesting venture out there. You know, we used to water ski there, and now it seems like, you know, God bless us with 60 more acres of sand to play with. So we're looking at different ways to utilize that. We've put up, I think it's a half a dozen new barbecue grills out there around the sandbar, picnic tables, picnic areas, and we're trying to create more of a picnicking atmosphere, family. Because, you know, sometimes when it's blowing hard and it's windy over at Township, it's really nice and calm over on the other side of it where it's protected from...
I noticed it was closed off the other afternoon. Was it Saturday?
The sandbar?
Yeah.
If it was closed, it was for the fireworks. That's about the
Oh,
only
maybe
time
that's
it was
what
closed.
it was.
Yeah. It closed in the morning.
might have
when
been
they were
that
setting off the
weekend.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
But we usually keep that open.
Don't let me. You got a call coming in, Joe. But I want you to go over the parking for Saturday too.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Maurice from Winslow.
There he is. Hey, Maurice, how you doing? This is Pat Williams.
I'm great, Pat. How are you?
Oh, we're doing fine. Your buddy Joe Raisin's here right now. And,
Hey, Joe.
How you doing, Maurice?
I'll turn it
Thanks
over to
for
you,
calling
Joe.
in.
Turn it over to you, Joe.
Just maybe if you could just tell Pat what you guys have been up to in the Cleveland area or in Akron, and, you know, coming back to Conneaut. What was that big instrument you played in the band, by the way?
I was a tuba player.
There you go.
Tuba.
I played the sousaphone, so you know the huge tuba that you got on your back. Those were my glory days.
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, Maurice, your band has come a long way, and you're performing all over the United States in different areas. And tell us about your band, if you would.
Absolutely. You know, it's like you said, we've really come a long way. When we first started, we were just a band playing at Kent State University. That's where most of us went to school. And it was just, you know, play with a bunch of our friends and have a good time. And it has led since then. We've signed, you know, 2 different record deals, independent ones. You know, we've played, as you said, all over the country, from Ohio, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, all over the place.
That's amazing.
You know, this last year we actually were so blessed. We had the ability to have one of our albums featured on AOL.com and MSN.com, and also signed some contracts with some of the major TV stations, MTV, VH1, to have our music played. So, you know, it's been a wild ride, and it's been a lot of work put in, I'll tell you that, but it's all paying off. And that's
What do you got coming up, Maurice? You got any more recordings or anything?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So we spend 2 days a week right now doing writing sessions, and we're going to be putting out our own EP. So we're going to actually record most of it on our own. We're going to finance it on our own, and we're going to put it out as cheaply as possible so that people can just access it without having to pay a bunch of money. That's kind of the next project.
Okay.
Music related, we're actually doing the Bridgestone Invitational in Akron.
Wow.
Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet Tiger next weekend.
Wow. Hey, what do you got in store for us here in Conneaut this coming Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
What
so,
do you...
You know, this is the first time we've been back to Conneaut for years.
Really?
And so I'm pumped about it. You know, we've always just had such a great turnout whenever we've been in town. We've done a couple of the 4th of July events and things like that. So we're hoping that people are going to come out, bring the family, bring some picnic food or whatever, and come out and just have a good time with us. We don't get to do this too often, so we look forward to those kind of moments.
Well, we're looking forward to having you here. I know Joe is certainly, and we're praying that the weather cooperates this year, not unlike it didn't last year.
Oh yeah, last year, Joe and I held out hope as long as possible. We were on the phone a couple conversations that day. It wasn't going to work, and so hopefully Mother Nature will be feeling a little differently this year for us.
Oh, we certainly hope so. We certainly hope so. Joe, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm so happy you're coming, Maurice, and I know you got a lot of fans here in Conneaut, and hopefully the sun will shine and we'll have a great evening down there with you.
Well, I'll tell you one thing: we're coming, rain or shine this year. So even if there's some drizzle, we're coming.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Good.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll see you there, Maurice, on Saturday. So good luck to you and have a safe trip here. Thank you.
Sounds great. I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday, and hope to see everybody from Conneaut out.
Excellent,
Thanks.
buddy. Thank you for the
Thanks,
phone
Maurice.
call.
All right, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye. Great kid.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah.
is. He really
Great
is. It was a
enthusiasm.
tuba.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
My boy Jeff played the trombone, so I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
get those ones confused. Some brass,
What do you got over there, Wally? You got anything you need to announce or anything?
Well, we're just hopeful that we have plenty of registrations for the paddle battle, and I just wanted to jump on something you guys are talking about. This weekend I was down around the docks and up on Township Park, and I started looking at license plates.
Yeah, I love to do that.
And of course we have a bunch of Ohio's and the PA's and some New York's, and I saw some Tennessee's, I saw some
Yeah.
Texas, I saw some Kentucky,
Sure.
Illinois, and it's interesting that people are looking at our area, our harbor, our lakefront differently than they may have had looked at it in the past.
Sure.
It's almost like you can tell when summer's here if you take a drive down Lake Road. You see a lot of different faces walking down Lake
Oh,
Road.
yeah.
And all of the folks are back visiting
And I've said this many times, Joe and Wally, that because we've gone to the D-Day so many times, so what we do is circle the perimeter, looking at license plates, and we've seen Colorado. It's amazing how many people come for things like that, even for Dock Fest. They come to enjoy the lakefront, and we have the most beautiful lakefront, I think, anywhere, and we take it for granted sometimes. And we gotta utilize it the
I
proper
think
way.
probably 65% of our boaters are from Ohio.
Yeah.
The rest are primarily from Pennsylvania and South County,
Sure.
Youngstown area. We did some data on that several years ago, and it's interesting to see where all of our boaters are from, and it's right there. But we're starting to draw more here, and it's the longer that perch pack stays out there, the walleye are doing well. I tell you, people just thrive on that stuff.
They
And
do.
It really is a driving force in our economy.
Joe, now that you mentioned that, before I let you go, the parking on Saturday,
Yeah.
you got fishermen that are coming down there.
And for the last 5-6 years, ever since we've changed it to the format here, what we do is shuttle them. We have golf carts and a buggy that Bortnick's tractor donates to us. As soon as the fellow puts his boat in, he pulls his trailer out, we shuttle them down to an area, they park their trailer, we bring them back. And then when they come back from fishing, there's a fellow there to pick them up, take them down to their car, and bring them right in there.
Now,
So-
where do they park then?
Primarily down toward the end of Naylor Boulevard, also out on the entrance of the sandbar, and we've also used up at Naylor Boulevard
Yeah,
down there.
yeah. I've seen them parked along
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then, so
Lakeview Park sometimes is available if need be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the actual event goers will be able to park in the
Yeah,
parking
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
actual parking for guests are right there,
Okay.
where the boat trailers would normally park.
Okay. If you haven't been, excuse me, go ahead.
The front of the public dock is set up for the car show,
Okay.
and we usually block that off. We'll have a beer booth there, the food stands, and those are all kind of caged in, so to speak.
Okay. And then the stage will be on the
The
west,
stage will be on the west corner.
where it has been.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you haven't been to Dock Fest, you got to go to it because it's absolutely a beautiful day. to see our beautiful lakefront down there. That's what it's for, to kind of show what we have down there. And I want to tell you guys before I let you go, you're doing a tremendous job for this community down there, and I can't thank you enough for all that you've done down there.
Well, thank
Pat,
you.
Joe wrote a note here. I wasn't sure if he was going to segue into this, or he's asking me to, talking about renewing the dock and the renovations that have gone on down there and how beautiful it is. Sometimes we look at things in the way of, as it used to be in the day, and we miss some things. So a couple of months ago, we made a contact through Kent State University with the Kent State University Cleveland Urban Design Collaborative. They came up and did a preliminary look at it. This is a school, graduate school of architecture that's centered in Cleveland, and they will be sending a team up here in September to take a look at our port area, our harbor area, to give us ideas on how we may want to proceed in developing that.
Really?
We've shared that well, actually, Nick Church has been with us a number of times with it, and some of those graduate students will probably be working with the city too, talking about corridors and that kind of a thing. We'll have a fresh look at things we assume and have just taken for granted.
And we do.
We do. Several years ago when I got on the board, I says, why do we have two of the primest pieces of property? One was a little boathouse and the other is our maintenance building. Why are those not retail places? There's no retail over that hill. And what keeps people in Conneaut to spend their money if they just drive over the hill, look at the lake, and they drive back up the hill? What makes them stop? And these are things that we're trying to focus on. We're still seeking somebody to open a winery in our maintenance building. We're going to try to keep pursuing that avenue. The Breakwall Restaurant has, I think, finally hit their stride.
They're doing great.
Last night, on a Monday night, I came by there, they were packed. So I think things are finally starting to make a good turn down there.
Our old friend Joe Biscotti, God bless him, good buddy of mine for many, many years. Before he passed away, he wanted to have I think a hot dog stand, and
we approved it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, we approved it.
He called in and announced it on here.
Yep.
And I thought that was such a good idea because he had a lot of foresight on different things.
Yeah.
He says, I think this is the place to be.
Yep, he's a great innovator.
Yeah.
And you just need people with an open mind, with some ideas. And, I cringe when I say I'm 54 years old, but, you get in that mindset of...
You're still a kid.
Thank you, Pat. Where you hear folks that say, we tried that, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, we got to do something different. We're working with some folks in the Erie Group, Growth Partnership. There's some things on cutting edge that are just getting going, and we just need one or two of these things to happen, and it's going to start taking off. There's some things that are really, I hope to be able to come back and elaborate on more of these things, but our board is really a progressively thinking group. Wally came on the board last year. Some of these ideas that he brings to the table are great. None of them aren't come out right. But our group is a very great thinking. We're open-minded to all kinds of things.
Sure.
And I think that's what you have to be. Everything's fair game.
It was funny. Steve Representative Patterson was on yesterday. And he goes, "I've never seen you so excited," and it was because City News is finally being revamped into a video store. Starlight Video will be going there, and a Chinese restaurant coming to town. I go, that's good for the downtown.
Yeah.
And just little things like that, because I've seen it stagnate, Joe, over the years. What I've been doing all these years. And it just, finally, when you see things starting to happen, it just makes me feel good. It pumps me up. And one of the major things that have happened is our docks. I mean, I am just enthusiastic. I watched it 30 years ago. It wasn't as active as it is now, and as progressive. And it's only for the best. It's only good.
We've made a constant effort to improve our docks. In the last 3 years, I think we've put almost $1 million back into new dock renovations. Used to be, you would drive down the end of Lagoon Road, you'd look over and say, boy, this is an old community. These are old, crappy docks. Now these are state-of-the-art floating docks, concrete tops, lit lights, electric, water, the whole 9 yards. And those are amenities that attract boaters. Some of the older style boats that you would see, fishing boats in guys' backyard, they're now rolling over into some of these new center console boats. You can tell the makeup of some of these boats are newer. The lines they're tying their boats up now are real boat lines, not
Clothesline.
twine. You know? and we have, and you know, we're under some constant guidelines too. We have the state fire marshal is always knocking on our doors. We have to watch that people fuel their boats accordingly. And that's always an issue.
Right.
But it's things that we get mandated and we have to pay attention to it. And I think it's for the betterment of everybody.
Yeah,
So-
keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks.
I'm really rooting for you for Saturday too.
Me too.
We'll see you down there.
Alrighty.
All right.
Appreciate it.